everyone. One announcement before we start. The lectures here every week will be on Monday, not Sunday. The last time it's on Sunday, it moves to Monday, and that's how it's going to stay. Hope it's better for you.
Starting next week?
Starting next Monday, yes. No more Sunday, Monday, because many times I'm not here on Sunday. I go away for Shabbatonim, and I don't get here until Monday back. I don't want to cancel this shiur too many times. I want it to be steady. 8:30. 8:30 every Monday. Okay? Now, we are a few days before Hannuka. Every year we get to Hannuka, the kids learning about the Greeks and about the Maccabees, the Jews, only few tzaddikim, few righteous Jews. They went against this big empire of the Greeks and they won, and we celebrate. And I'm saying every year the same question I have. I say, I don't understand what's to celebrate for. What was the whole war between the Greeks and the Jews? Which ideology would win? It wasn't a war like by the Nazis. They wanted to kill all Jews, regardless, religious, not religious. It wasn't about the religion so much. It was more about to kill all Jews, even the most secular ones. By the communism, by the Russians. It's against all Jews. They don't care, religious, not religious. You're Jew, they don't like you, that's it. Same thing, the Romans, same thing, all of them. Even though they had religious decrees, they wanted to torture the Jews, but the main thing was to kill the actual bodies. The Greeks, it was all about ideology, which means we don't want to kill you really. We want to make you one of us. We want you to get rid of your beards and your peot and the special clothes you have. Like they say today in Israel, we want to make you normal. We want to make you join the army, go to work, walks in Manhattan, no kippah, Tel Aviv, no kippah, come to the beach with us, be normal. That's what they call normal, which is true. The majority of the people in the world is normal. That's what's normal. Unfortunately, it's corrupted, it's wicked, but that's what's normal today. Used to be a generation that the normal was to be righteous. Now we're in a generation that it's normal to be wicked. The more wicked you are, the more normal you are. The more righteous you are, the more not normal you are. Do you understand what I'm saying here? It's a sad joke. So I'm asking, what's to celebrate? Did we really win against the Greeks? We are the biggest Greeks in history. We are more Greeks today than the Greeks used to be 2,400 years ago. The Greeks who fought against us, besides the fact that they were very strong and cruel and murderers and all the rest of the things, and I don't think we are like them in that part. We're not murderers, we're not cruel, we don't have this. But as far as the ideology, what did the Greeks idolize? What did they worship? Sport. It's almost impossible to find one Jew that is not addicted to sport today. Even more than the Greeks back then. Because remember, back then, what kind of sport they had? They didn't have 1% of the sport we have today. They had boxing a little bit, wrestling, maybe fighting with spears, with horses, a person against a lion, or a person against a bear. In stadium, that was the sport. Nothing else. There's no ball games, all these things that you have today, baseball, football, soccer, basketball, tennis. None of this was even around. So the sport was much boring back then. So today it's become a much stronger addiction. Look, trillions of dollars every year in the world is spent on sport. Even people with religion, people with yarmulke, people that even go in a day to yeshiva, they dream when someone tells them, I got you tickets to see somebody, Mr. Williams or Jackson, hits the ball. Wow. He's happy like they told him Mashiach is coming today. And I also said, well, look at the religious kids. I'm not talking about secular because there's needless to say. There's nothing to even say. It's obviously that's 100% like goyim. I'm talking religious kids. If the religious kids have problems, it's needless to say secular kids. Do you understand why, no? So if the religious kids, the average religious kid, if you tell him, I see you have cards of the rabbis and cards of the baseball player or football player, one of them you have to put in a garbage. Which one you think he would give out? That's really a question to know where this kid is holding. If he gives you the Jackson, Williams, whatever, that means, okay, I like sport, I like Jackson when he hits, I like Williams when he scores a basket, but I have a limit. If it comes on the expense of the Torah, I still choose the rabbis and the Torah and the Talmidei Chachamim. Also, when you ask the kid, what do you dream to be when you grow? When one day you be a man, some say to you, Talmid Chacham, but that doesn't mean they mean it. It's that their parents train them to say it since they're very young. Do they really mean it? Not necessarily. But some really mean it. Sometimes you see kids like that. Some kids that have no attraction to sport. I say today, one of the biggest dangers to the kids is sport. Even though sport by itself, to run, to do some exercise, is healthy for the body, and the Torah says to keep your body healthy. But if in order for you to do some exercise, it will make you addicted to something and it takes away all your life, and that becomes the most important thing in your life, and then you begin to worship teams and worship all kinds of losers who don't know how to write their name, but they know how to throw a ball, that's going to become your heroes, then it shows how low you became. The problem is that you may think, okay, well, sport is for the low lives. We are not like that, are we? Big lawyers, we judges, we doctors, we big teachers, professors. It doesn't apply to us. Yeah? Look in America, almost every lawyer is addicted to it. Or every doctor, the judges, what do they think about? But that's nothing. From this, I'm not even surprised. I'm now talking people with Gemara in their hand, with black hats. You may think, okay, Baruch Hashem, there is a group of people that doesn't apply to them, this culture of the Greeks. The word sports come from where? From Sparta. The Greeks invented it. Why people invented sport? What does it mean, sport? Entertainment. Why people need entertainment? They're bored. Why people are bored? Because they don't learn Torah. See, it's a chain reaction. If a person sits and learns Torah, if he'll feel his neshama, his heart, that's it. He doesn't have the need to all the nonsense. As soon as he leaves the Torah, he needs movies, he needs music, he needs entertainment, he needs jokes, he needs comedy, he needs sports. The Torah goes in, all the garbage goes out. The Torah leak out, all the garbage right away goes in. Like the Torah say, lapetach chatat rovetz. Lapetach means the entrance. What does it mean, lapetach? To the entrance, next to the entrance, the Yetzer Hara is rovetz, is laying. Like a dog. A dog is trying to get into the house. You leave him outside, you lock the door, so he's scratching the door a little bit with his nails. He's crying for a minute or 2 or 5. And he understands he has to spend the night outside. But what happened? He's on alert. As soon as one person comes, right, the way he rises, he's waiting for the opportunity that they open the door. As soon as they open, he sneaks inside. He's waiting for that moment. That's the way the Yetzer Hara is. Lapetach chatat rovetz. The chatat is one of the 7 names of the Yetzer Hara, of the evil inclination. The Gemara gives the evil inclination a few names. One of them is chatat. Lapetach, the chatat, the Yetzer Hara is always laying next to the entrance. As soon as you open him in a place, right away he goes inside. Now he goes inside, it's very hard to get him out. The idea is not to let him in. It's like vaccine. You get a vaccine, the disease doesn't come in. So the vaccine actually preventing the disease from entering the body. But if the disease is already in, it's very hard to get it out sometimes. Sometimes there's no way to get it out. So the idea is not to let it in. Everybody understands. What's better, to become sick and then looking for the medicine until you become cured and all the treatment, or better not to get it? Better not to get it. I'll give you another example. Sometimes you have a kid that is not so much into sport. You know, he asks around, who won? It's not his life. But then there's another kid who doesn't know anything from sport. So you may think, okay, it's no big deal if my son will be friend with this kid. He's not so much into sport. Still coming, he learns, he's serious in the learning. It's no big deal. But what happened? Your kid that was only in Torah got involved with him. The 2-3 conversations that they had about sport got your kid all of a sudden to find out a world that he wasn't aware of. All of a sudden, a year later, your kid became 100 times more addicted than the other one. So you ask yourself, how can it be? The other one himself doesn't run after that so much. How did he get my son to be like this? The answer, how is it possible? The Gemara says, if somebody left some liquid in his cup, someone drank, don't ever drink from it, the Gemara says. Remember, this was 2,000 years ago, before Louis Pasteur. Louis Pasteur, it's only 120 years ago. That's 2,000 years ago. Everything that the doctors think they discover, not everything, but many of the things they discover in the last 200 years, it's already in a Talmud. They're just not aware of it, because they never learn it. So the Gemara says, better to drink poison than to drink lukewarm water, which means they were never boiled. But if they're boiled, it's fine. Or also, if they're in different material. Not every material collect the germs the same way. Like metal, it's more dangerous. Other ones, it's different. So the Gemara says, why? Because it can kill you. It's pikuach nefesh. The Gemara says, if you drink from someone's mouth, leftover, it's pikuach nefesh. It can affect your life. But the question we have to ask, how can someone get something that the person who gave it to him doesn't have? The person that supposedly now drank. If he was sick, he should have died already, no? So if he's not dead, why to be afraid to drink from his mouth? If he's sick, he's going to die. He didn't die, and someone who drank from his mouth, he's going to die? The answer is yes. Why? Some germs, some diseases, or viruses, whatever you want to call it, they are sleeping inside the body of a person. They're not active. They're in, but they never develop. They're not really active. They can be there 20 years and he's not sick. But if a person get it from him, a week or two later, it can kill him. Why? When he goes into the new body, nobody knows why. It's only Hashem knows why. Why over here in the body of this guy is sleeping? He goes to the body of this guy. A few weeks later, it's finished. Why is it? Nobody knows. It's only Hashem knows. This is, by the way, you see that even though Hashem made the world with laws of nature, but He's always have the final switch, the top switch. He can interfere with that. Because we can see right away the same disease hits one person, he dies, the other person, nothing happened to him. Doesn't develop. There's people who got HIV when it started 20-something years ago. Some were dying after a few months. As soon as it right away turned into AIDS and they died. Some until today they survive. Yeah, they invest a lot of money in all kinds of medicine, whatever, but they're not cured. They live with lots of limitation, but 20 years they're already living. But then I remember when it started, people were dying after a few months. As soon as it turned into AIDS, a few more months, everything, all the vaccine system collapsed and he dies. So we see over here that the Yetzer Hara, just like the disease, the person who gave it to you, he could control some of it, but when it comes to you, you're finished. You understand? Like sometimes a guy is religious, but he's looking out to make sins. So he goes to places he's not supposed to go. What kind of a Bachur Yeshiva go to a bar to watch a game with all the goyim drinking beer and cursing? Bachur Yeshiva, someone Yireh Shamayim, is embarrassed to be in a place like this. I'm standing around all these losers here, people that have no manners, no dignity, no nothing. Every second word is a curse, violence, getting drunk every night. You want to stand next to these people? Well, regardless what they are, Jews or non-Jews, doesn't matter. This kind of culture, it's the lowest level. Someone that is Ben Torah will stand in a place like that. So what happened? A friend brings his friend. He goes there, he still controls himself. He goes back to the yeshiva, the next day he's learning good. He goes there 1 hour, he watches something, he goes back. Or sometimes he stands by the window and watch something. But when he got his friend, he thought, oh, my friend's going to be like me. I'm not going off the derech. I'm not completely losing my religion. I'm just, cheating for an hour and coming right back on track. Cheating, coming back right on track. It's on and off. Life is on and off, Rabbi. But as soon as he got his friend, 3 weeks, became a whole goy. Now he doesn't get up in the morning, no tefillot, no Torah. 2 weeks later, you see him in a mixed wedding, dancing with the girls. You ask him, hey, 2 or 3 months ago you had peot. What? Ben Torah, what happened to you in 2 or 3 months? Nobody really knows what happened to him. This friend that took him is eating his heart for the rest of his life now. Why couldn't he be like me? I go there, I still keep myself. I go back to the yeshiva and I'm not going down. I go down a little bit. Right away, I go the next day with the Torah. I go all the way up. I go a little bit down. Go all the way up. Go a little bit down. That's the way his life is. It's not really progressing. Staying in the same level. But you bring someone else there, destroy him completely. Why? Weak character, different kinds of desires. What do you think? Every person has the same weaknesses? Some people, you put diamonds by them, all they think about, when will I have the first opportunity to steal? Some people, it doesn't even cross their mind. They didn't even think for a second the whole day to touch it, or diamonds here, what does it have to do with me? It doesn't even cross their mind. And it's not necessarily religious, not religious. Some secular people, their nature is like this. You have all these goyim from the south. He grew up in such simple lifestyle. They don't think about coming, robbing, stealing. They may do other things, but when it comes to this, it's the nature of a person. And then the other person, all the time, where can I grab something? All the time. Why? He has a weakness and he doesn't. He has Yetzer Hara for stealing, the other one doesn't have. So the idea is that I'm asking, every year I ask this and I still didn't find the answer to this. What exactly are we celebrating in Hannuka? Hannuka symbolized that the Jews, the Jewish ideology, the Torah, what we call today the Haredim, won over the Chilonim, the Mityavnim. The Jews that became Greeks, together with the Greeks, went against the Haredim. And what happened in the end? The minority, the Yehuda, Maccabim, Matityahu, and Chameshet Banav, and a few hundred people who joined them, were able to defeat this empire, the Greek empire, which were all over the world with palaces and stadiums and coliseums and statues and olive oils and all these beautiful women and animals and all kinds of glory. And here is the Haredim, what do they do besides spiritual things? And the spirituality won over this materialism. But today, when I'm asking myself, besides a bunch of real serious Bnei Torah that learn and they don't care about this world, completely. Their mind is all... I saw in Shabbat a book that they bring some things from Rav Chaim Kanievsky. They ask him a question, somebody asked him once on the street, after years that he learns in a kollel, where is this street? And he was right in a corner, where is kollel here? Every day he goes on that street. They ask him, where is the street? He say, I don't know. Every day, imagine this, every day you go next to your school, you go on the street, not one time you pay attention that you walk on that street, whatever, Shmariah, whatever the name of the street was. He didn't even know the name of the street. He's there. He's every day there. He doesn't pay attention. Rav Ovadia, when they used to bring him to Yeshivat Orach Chaim, I think it was every Thursday to speak. My Chevruta, when he moved from America to New York, he told me it's amazing. Every Thursday he comes, still doesn't know how to get to the yeshiva. He doesn't pay attention, like his mind is somewhere else. Where is the make a ride, go make a ride, to get to the place. They have to walk him to show him the place, because his mind is, even you can see that when they walk him, his mind is somewhere else. That's like סולם רגליו על הארץ וראשו ניצב בשמיים. The head of the person, sometimes the person, his leg is here on earth, but his head is all the way up. All the way up. Sometimes it's the other way around. His legs is up and his head is in the ground. You know when? How can it be? There are people who live, they fly like astronauts. You know, Torah they don't have. They don't learn Torah, but they live in such world of illusion. Everything by them is, they live like in a balloon. You know, like they're not connected to anything. They don't know where they are. You talk to them 3-4 times until they wake up from their dreams. Usually it happens to a guy that his time came to get married and he cannot find shidduch. It's talking to the wall. You say, Moshe? All of a sudden he sees almost banging into the car. He screams. He wake up from his dream. I said to him, it was the shidduch of last night, right? It's not here. He's mine. Until I get married, forget it. It's not in this world. All the time, you know, a person sees sitting like this, like we call panim tisha b'av. All he cares about is shidduch. When the shidduch would come. As long as the shidduch didn't come, he's not in this world. Cannot function in anything. So the point is like this. In order for a person to celebrate Chanukah, I always say, why do secular people celebrate Chanukah? That's a joke. Why do you if the religious people made a holiday that they overcome the secular ideology, that the secular empty ideology went bankrupt, and the Torah and the followers of the Torah won against this kind of ideology. So why do secular people celebrate their defeat? The answer is they don't even know that Chanukah is celebrating their defeat. They don't look at themselves as a part of the problem. If you go to a secular person and say, you know what Chanukah is? Chanukah is the holiday that me and my fathers won against you and your father. What are you talking about? What father? I don't even know your father. Say, no, not my father literally. The way of my fathers against the way of your father. That you think you came from the monkey and you believe in science and you worship science. And we followed the Torah. Our ways won against your way, even though you had more money, more power. Nothing came out of you. But we overcome what you had. It doesn't know what you want, Bechlad. I had last week a debate. They say Reform Jew. In the end, there was complete atheist. Yeah, he became a designer of women clothing. Barami, famous designer. They told me I have to speak to him because he influenced a lot of young guys. And they think that, science, academic. If you only knew how many Jewish religious holy souls were murdered by the parents in the name of academy, you would cry forever. How many Jewish kids lost their olam haba and their parents that sent them to those places because they wanted them to be doctors or scientists, and in the end they became goyim and they marry goyim and their children are goyim and they lost any connection to Hashem in the name of dentistry, in the name of science, in the name of architecture, in the name of whatever, everyone with his own dream. By the way, parents should not force on their children what to do. They should recommend them, they should give them advice, they should tell them if you do this, maybe you make more money. You know, if a father sees that his son wants to go to learn art history, a clever father will tell his son, it's nice always to be educated and to know things, but what is it going to give you in life? So you know this art is from what century, and the special technique, how they used to paint 300 years ago, 400 years ago, where is it going to get you? To heaven, for sure it doesn't get you. Second, money is going to give you, what are you going to be? Maximum a teacher, or work in a museum. So what are you going to waste 3, 4, 5, 7 years, whatever it takes to learn? So now you're going to say, but I love art. Learn art on your free time. How many people love art? They learn time. They get your computer. Art dealer.
Million. Buy for 10 million, sell for 30.
How many people who went to art history became art dealer? More than 1%?
Maybe.
Not even. 1% of 1% maybe. And most of them, what do you think they do when they finish college? Nothing. They have nothing to do with art. How many of them go to work in museum? How many of them become teacher for art? Very little. Fine, at least he goes, he gets a good job, I don't know, an architect, a lawyer or something, he makes money, business lawyer, a good doctor, whatever. Even though today those days are over, that's it. From college, no money would come anymore. It used to be that you can graduate and make a decent salary. Today you make a salary of a taxi driver. So you have to think a million times before you're investing. One person sent me 2 days ago a question. This was the question. I give every month maser, but I want to stop giving tzedakah because I owe. You ready? 20,000 to this loan, 20,000 to this government loan, 40,000 to this loan. In less than a minute, he already had more than $100,000 that he owed to loans, which according to his plan with the interest and everything will take him more than 20 years to pay. So now, how does he want to pay the loan to Obama? By stealing Hashem's money and giving it to Barack. That's what he wants. He wants to steal from the tzedakah that he's obligated to give, and with the tzedakah to pay to what Obama and his friends and whatever, all the student loans took from him. That's basically what it is. So I told him, 10% you must give, Habibi. 10% is not yours. Hashem gives you money, 10% from your net income you have to give. And from the rest, you pay what you owe. Don't worry, they're not sitting and crying. They're killing you on the interest anyway. For them, it's good. You know, like these phone companies. In America, there is a very tricky way to make money. How? In the supermarkets, they always make sales. Every supermarket, all over the world, kosher, non-kosher, New York, out of New York. They put every week many items on sale. It's $5, they lower it to $3. It's $7, they lower it to $4.50. So people think, wow, I'm buying 5 of these. Here, I'm saving $30, $40 right here, just from coming to this store. But they don't know that those supermarkets, the way they design it, they lower 10% of the products in a store, but they kill you on the other 90. So you get the impression that this place is cheap, but it's not really cheap. Because here you save, and here you save, and over here you pay a little extra, and in the end it's balanced. It's the same thing. Same thing, you know, when it comes to cellular phones. They tell you unlimited, free data, free this. But as soon as you go over, 20 times more than what you pay. 20, not twice, 20 times more. Which means they tell you have free long distance, free this, free that, up to this minute. But after you go over it, $5 a minute. For something doesn't cost any money. And all you need is 1 month not to know, and here you go, $300 you got on something that you normally get for free. That's how they make their money. Counting on people ignorance. People ignorance always come through. I always say ignorance is the biggest danger in the life of a person. I want to ask you a question. The Gemara says something very interesting. The Gemara in Pirkei Avot, chapter 4, it says, Ezu Gibor. Who is a hero? The answer, he goes all day to the gym and pump weights. Who is a hero? Someone who can give one punch, you never get up. Someone who gives you a little punch, you get up after a minute. It's not such a hero. But someone that you know, you get one punch from this guy, you're dead. That's a hero, no? Hercules, Bar Kochva, Tyson. Then the Gemara continue. Who is smart? Who is smart? Someone who got a degree from Harvard and Yale. Then the Gemara continue, who is rich? Someone who has many buildings in Manhattan. Then the Gemara continue, who is respectable? The answer, someone that everyone bow down to him. Big boss, prime minister, big judge. That's the way it should have been. But it's not like that in the Gemara. Something went wrong here. The Gemara says, who's a hero? Who is a hero? Someone who can overcome his desires. That is not a slave of his Yetzer Hara. 99.999999999% of the people in the world are slaves of their desires and evil inclination. For every million people, maybe, if we're lucky, we find one that controls his desires. When you go to the wedding, next time pay attention. When they bring the ice cream, how many people stay on the dance floor? Like magnet. Everyone to the dessert side. Wow, Moroccan cookies, honey cookies, all kinds of things. Wow, his eyes comes out. How many people will not run to the food? How many people come to the wedding early because they know they're going to have good bar, smorgasbord, good drinks, all kinds of Chinese, sushi. That's the only reason they come an hour early, because they never come on time to anything else in their life. All of a sudden, it's mamash yeke. 6:30, Kabbalat Panim, 6:20 is over there already. The first batch. Right or wrong? How many people, when they need a cigarette, they will walk 3-4 miles in 20 below zero to buy a pack of cigarettes? They will continue to walk until next week, until they find a store that sells. And if they don't find...
Don't forget ID.
And if they don't find, they see a car that there's a pack of cigarettes inside, they look around, they break the car and steal it. Right? They cannot control their need for the cigarette. I can't, Rabbi, I can't. So who is a hero? Control his desire. Who is rich? Someone that is not living with feeling that is missing something. It's completely not relevant how much you have. Whether you have zero balance in your bank account, whether you have $1 billion. Someone with $1 billion can be more poor than someone with zero balance. Because in the mind of a person, the agony, the pain, the stress, the sadness, the depression, the aggravation, all these horrible diseases that comes to the mind of a person come from one thing in his mind. I am missing $1 million right now. I am missing $10,000 right now. How much will I make now to make me happy? He has in his mind, I need 10,000. I need even the teenagers. Wow, if I only had 20,000 to buy the sport cars that I want. So right now, how much is missing? 20,000. And his friend that is much richer, he doesn't want a car for 20, he wants a car for 200. So how much is missing? 200. So who feel more upset? Someone who's missing 20 or someone who's missing 200? It completely have nothing to do with how much you have. It's only how much you have in your mind that you have to make. Which means even if you make right now $1 million, cash, in an unexpected deal, wow, I'm not poor anymore, finally. And you just found out your friend made 10 million in the same deal. You don't have anymore the happiness that you have for the one. Because right away you figure, I have a long way to get to him. He took away all the pleasure. So the mind of a person is not what we have, what we don't have. And that's a very big problem. So the Gemara say, you want to be rich, all you have to do is to adjust your brain to focus on what you have and how lucky you are that you have it. You're able to walk, you're able to move your finger, you're able to see, you're able to understand, to read, to write, to hear. So many things that you have worth much more than money. I once told a person I lost a lot of money. I say, yeah, well, imagine if your daughter would put her hands inside the mixer and would chop her finger off. And now the finger is on the floor, you bring it to the hospital, and one doctor say to you, listen, I can do a perfect job, you won't even know it was cut. But it's going to be $5 million. But it's like the accident never happened. 5 million cash, you give me, you pay me only after the finger is moving, the nerve, everything is healing, then you pay. So I said to him, if that was the case, and you really paid and your daughter got back her finger and now she's okay, would you feel good or you feel bad? He said, I feel great that I was able to fix it. So you won't care so much about the money, because the bottom line is the case was horrible, and it, Baruch Hashem, came back to normal. So I said, so think that that's what happened. That's what, you lost your money now, right? People stole from you. Think that that's what you paid for. It's all in the head. One little adjustment, no more depression. The next one, who is Chacham? Who is a smart person? The answer, הרואה את הנולד. Someone who always see and predict what's coming in economy, in his personal life, on the road. On the road. You know, some people, they spend double gas because they never see what's coming. They get full gas, last minute, full brakes. Full gas, full brakes. Besides the fact that everyone in a car suffer and vomit, they spend double gas. I started to come with a guy who drives me sometimes. The way he was driving, it was like mamash a roller coaster, nightmare. I said to him, I drive an hour and a half from Muncie to here. I don't touch the brakes once or twice, the whole ride. As soon as I see traffic a mile away is heading, I already calculate when to leave the leg from the gas, let the car slow by itself. First of all, it's 50% less gas. But that's not the issue, especially now when the gas came down and the Iranians are going crazy now because in Russia, Russia, you don't know what's going on in Russia. Russia is about to collapse completely, financially. The ruble went down to the lowest it's ever been. And not only that, because Russia, when the oil goes down, 40% of Russia's economy, it's the oil prices. If it continues to go down, Russia is finished. 1 year like this, that's it. They're not going to have what to eat, even though they have a lot of reserve. But you know, a country like Russia, have hundreds of millions to feed. It's not so simple. The Iranian, the same thing. The Arabs, it's no problem for them. Saudis, Kuwait, all of them. They're rich countries. You know, so they have made so many trillions of dollars. 1 year they don't make, no big deal. But for some countries like Venezuela, Iran, Russia, it's so critical. A few months like that and they're bankrupt. So predicting when to leave the leg from the gas. Also when you drive, if you see a car just double park, you always have to think a few steps ahead. There's probably a passenger who is about to open the door. You have to slow in advance, not to wait until this fool open the door and then you hit his thing and you say, well, it's your fault, but now you're stuck for 3 hours and you miss your brother's wedding. But it's really not your fault. In the end, the policeman will apologize. Sir, we're sorry that you have to wait here. Chacham enav berosho, the Gemara say. Also, when you date a girl, you have to see the little symptoms right now, where they're gonna end. Not what they are right now. Where it's gonna lead you in a year or two from now. You're excited now from her beauty, from the fact that for years you did not have, you know, and finally you have a shidduch. So you close your eyes and you don't really see the dangers. And what happened later on? You pay not a huge price. Your life is destroyed. Same thing by the girls. They marry a nice-looking guy, pretend he's a big shot in business, come with this Bukharian watch, $50,000, beautiful gel on his hair, his father Mercedes, you know, put the show. Very nice, take her to a fancy restaurant, open the door for her, bring flowers.
3 days.
But there are other things. What about Torah? What about learning? What about connection to Hashem? What about getting up in the morning? What about to stay away from drugs or gambling, which is a very serious problem today? What about Facebook? What about 5 different phones that he has? Isn't it suspicious? You don't see what's going on here? One thing, one girl came to me and she said, I have so much problems. Through the conversation, she said that her husband doesn't even have a bank account. I said, well, if you came to me before you got married and you tell me that the guy you're about to marry does not have a bank account, he doesn't want to have a bank account, I'll never let you marry him. He's either a drug dealer, a hitman. In a best case scenario, he's a con artist that all he does is to trick people and the government and doesn't want to keep track. Clean person for sure is not. A clean person has a bank account, has a credit card, is normal, he's not afraid that people would know if he has an account or not. Only the criminals are hiding like that. Spies. Who doesn't have a record? Someone comes to a country, doesn't want to have his name in any system of the government.
Shoemaker don't have bank account.
Shoemaker. They're afraid that people will steal the shoes from their store, maybe.
They don't pay tax.
That's it. Here you go. Don't pay. So what's going on? There are things, that's called Ezu HaChacham HaRoeh et HaNolad. You have to see where it's heading. Plus, you can already see how quickly the guy is heated in a conversation. Like this. He's getting ready, red. He's moving like a Godzilla, like this. You have to see right away in 2 months how you're going to get kicks in your stomachs. You have to see it coming. Cannot be blinded by the romantic scenario. Can you get a champagne, Gerson? This champagne will cost you $1 million one day. Well, you're so excited. I told one guy, I said to him, I don't understand. I never see a guy like you that every other day has a shidduch. People are dry here, 1 year, 1 shidduch. 1 year, 1 date. How do you get every other day a shidduch? So apparently, he doesn't check, nothing. Everything he hears, there's an opportunity, right away he calls, he makes a date, takes her to a restaurant, wastes the night, goes back home, sit 2 days depressed, then he has another shidduch, and that's how his life goes. I said to him, no, that's not the way it works. You don't go on a date before you make an FBI investigation on a person. Who is he? Where is he from? What family? Where does he live? How many brothers and sisters? Where is his education from? How does he behave? What his teachers and principal in yeshiva or school has to say about him? What the neighbors has to say about him? Maybe some cousin, friends, roommate, ex-roommates. You have to make an investigation, and then you have to ask them on the phone before. Tell me, are you all day one of these people that all day on a computer, you're an addict, 3 hours on a Facebook, 1 hour on a Twitter, 2 hours on YouTube, basically your whole life is connected to the Sitra Achra? How can you have life with a guy like this? What do you think happens when he comes home from work? Not one word he speaks to his wife for the whole month. As soon as he comes home, he eats his beautiful ashpolo and gujguje, whatever, and it has to be hot. And then he sits on the couch, open up his either phone or computer or iPad, whatever, and that's how the night is. Kiss or two to the kids, all day like this. Like this. And then they wonder why there's no connection, why everything looks tall. So Ezu HaChacham, someone who's smart, he see where is heading, you see where I'm heading from here. Especially the teenagers. By teenagers, it's very rare to find chachamim because they want to live the moment. Especially in America, they have a say, I want to have fun, Abba. Please don't pressure me. I want to have fun. That's the American way. I want to have fun. How many kids understand that this fun will mess up your life most likely? These 5, 6 years that you don't learn and you do bad things and you sit with the gangs in the park and you touch things you're not supposed to touch and see things that you're not supposed to And by the time you're 19 or 20, you wake up, you have no education, no nothing. You don't know where to start, no yeshiva, no nothing. And then what happened? You work in a pizza store, and they pay you $10 an hour, and they use you like a slave. And then they kick you out, and then you sleep in your parents' home for another 2-3 months, and then another job. Eventually your parents get tired of you, they kick you out. Hey, you're not gonna live here forever. And then what happened? I don't want to continue even. You understand where it's going to, no? These years are critical. What do you think? You're gonna do whatever you want between 12 and 20, and then you're not gonna pay the price for the rest of your life? Also the habits. Even if you're lucky and you have a rich father and he bought you a business, you're not going to be able to run it. You're not going to be able to run it. Because you're a spoiled, rotten kid. You're not going to be able to run it. You're going to have to call your father every 2 hours to come to see what's going on in the business. And then your father, what is he going to do? He invested the money, so he's going to have to hire some amigo to watch his son. And then the son gets upset that amigo tells him, the Jap, the Jewish American prince, you know, that Jose from Mexico is telling him what to do. What are you putting me a boss here? You the boss. It's our business. Why is it? Well, what can I do? He has to supervise you. He comes to work on time. You know, where he came from, he was working three jobs a day, starting 4 o'clock in the morning. It's not spoiled over there. One time the cleaning lady said, embarrassment, we have to learn from the cleaning lady. She said, when I was a kid, she said, we went to school, we went to work 2 hours before school, and as soon as we finished school, we went to work with the parents in the farm. No, I had no life. School, work, that's it. Nothing. Nothing else, nothing, no electronic, nothing to watch, nothing to go. Abba, Chol Hamoed trip. They come with a list from the newspaper. Chol Hamoed trip. $50, $70, $200. No, Abba is working, and we're here to have fun. The problem is, how many parents are smart to make their children responsible from a young age, to let them cut the grass, to let them do their own laundry, to let them clean the room, and if the room is not clean, they take away their money, their allowance, to put them in a military system. When they become 20, they're already like 30. Why do you think the Israelis that came to America, almost all of them succeeded so quick? 22, 24 is already own a real estate office, which an average American, it take him another 10, 15 years. Why? Why do you think it happened like that? But not only Israelis, Egyptians, Persians, people that came from different culture, they made it much quicker than here. Indian, Pakistanis. Why? It's because they're smarter than Americans? No. No, it's the mentality of the way the kids grew up. You grew up with liabilities. In America, there's no liabilities. No liabilities. Everything. Enjoy. Another week, and another week, and another week, until you have to face dead end. You get stuck there. That's why the Gemara says, Ezehu hachacham, who's smart? They always see few steps in advance. The more you see in advance where you're heading, the faster you fix your situation. Same thing when a person begins to fall in his religion level. If he see the nolad, if he's chacham, he say another week or two like this, I'm finished. Not only that, sometimes you go down and then you do tshuva, but your name is already ruined. The fact that the community saw you walking for 2-3 months without a kippah, and they saw you that you were here, and then you went almost to zero, and then you went back to be here. It's not the same. Because people are afraid of you. They say to their daughter, don't marry this guy. Don't date him. He's not stable. Same thing a girl. She's not stable. Now she's here. She became a rebbitzin. What's going to happen? You're going to have a little fights in the house. No parnasa. A little bit depressed she's going to be. Again. What are you going to do? People that are not stable is very dangerous. Even if they go very high, they can also go very low in a short period of time. People who go a little bit up and down, all their life, up, down, but maximum 10%. That show that they're stable. Even they go down, they have discipline. They know right away I must push myself back up. But people who have drastic, going all the way down, going all the way up, going all the way down, that's very dangerous. That shows that in their life they'll never will accomplish any mission in their life. Not only in religion, in nothing. Not in business, not in marriage, not in raising children, not if he needs to take over a disease or something, to go through a process. You'll never finish it. What's the fourth one? And before we finish, and maybe have some time for questions, who is respectable? So you may say, what do you mean? I'm educated, people respect me. I'm a very big brain surgeon, so I have to be a genius. You don't become a brain surgeon if you're a fool. So therefore, if I'm going to be a brain surgeon, people would respect me. If I'll be a great judge, not only people would respect me, they'll shake from me. So it's like extra respect. Like they're afraid to make a peep next to you. Oh, Your Honor, I'm sorry. So that's going to get me kavod. That's baloney. That's not kavod. That's an act. No one really respects the judge. No one really respects all kinds of politicians and that, or policemen that is threatening you. It's all about fear. As soon as he goes away, you laugh behind his back. To mean to respect, you know what it means to respect? When Chacham Ovadia came to Bet Knesset Chaim Sha'al 20 years ago, 18, 20, 19 years ago, Purim, it was Purim. I went to film him. I went an hour before. I sat in the first row, 2 feet from his face with my video camera. Mama, 2 feet. There's table, narrow table. My camera was on his table. I could go like this and touch his beard. That's how close I was. When he walked, first of all, they closed 4 blocks in Brooklyn. 1,000 people outside. When he walked in, I don't know, they got him from the side door. You had to see how the people pushed just to touch his hand. Mamash was a life risk. I was protecting the camera that I don't fall with the camera on the floor. Why? What was the point? Everybody understood. This is the Adam HaShalem. This is the person who achieved everything a person needs to achieve in this world. And everyone else there knew that we are not. He is, yes, and we are not. That's all. Why people love babies so much? Everyone is crazy about babies. See a cute baby. Everyone wants to kiss him, hug him. Why is it? Why when they see a 14-year-old boy, nobody looks at him?
He answers back.
Why?
He answers back. The baby doesn't.
No, even a good kid that doesn't answer back. Mute. Why? Because his soul is still pure. No sin stick to it. So your soul is anxious to glue to his soul. It's a spiritual feeling. The soul is the souls of the baby that the sins do not get, they're not stuck to them. The Gemara says, Abai and Rava, they say, אין דומה אבל שיש בו חטא להבל שאין בו חטא. He said, תינוקות של בית רבן, the little kids that they learn Torah, they are, thanks to them, the world exists. So he said to him, but we learn all our life Torah also, in a higher level than the kids. So why our Torah is not as great as the little kids? So he told him, learning Torah with sins that sticks to the soul, and learning Torah with no sins that sticks to the soul, it's not the same league. It's a different world. Another time he asked him, when he spoke about Aseret Yemei Tshuva, he said, Benoniim, mediocre, are pending between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. So he asked him, who is a mediocre? He said, like us. He said, if you are mediocre, not one person in the world would survive. He was the most righteous person in the world. So he said, I'm Benoni. He did not live life to anybody, any creature. If you call yourself mediocre, that means everybody else is zero, if you are mediocre. And of course, they spoke being humble. They were very humble. So how you become respectable? No, who can tell me how? you respect others. By a person that respects others, Jew, non-Jew, smart, not smart, rich, poor, male, female, young, old, respect every person. Say hello to everyone, treat everyone nice, don't look down on people. Rich or poor, you'll treat them equally. You don't ever think, what can I get out of them? That's not in the way you think. You were what you are, and the day you die, you're the same simple person, no matter how successful you became. Down to earth. So if you like that, no one is your enemy. You're never going to have enemies. You never offend anyone. You never look down at anyone. You always respect anyone. And you know what? You know how people that are down, you know how great they feel when someone important gives them respect. On one hand, they're embarrassed, but on the other hand, it's something very big. Sometimes even a good word. A good word from an important person to someone, it can build his whole life. You know the story I told you last week. I think it was here, I'm not sure. It says that the stipler, so there was one kid that was very depressed. He doesn't come to learn in yeshiva. He went to a psychologist. He's a great psychologist. He cannot get him out of his depression. So he took him to the stipler. After a few minutes they met. The stipler, the kid came out like a brand new kid. Whole completely different teenager. Started to learn, became serious, starting to write. I said, he went to the psychologist, said to the stipler, what did you do? We learn all our life, psychology. What did you do? How did you do it? It's not possible what you did in 10 minutes. He told him, I said to the kid, I want you to learn this Masechet in the Gemara and write a book about it, and me and you will go over the book, the stipler told him, and I'm going to give you a special blessing and recommendation, and that's going to be your project. He gave him meaning to his life. Plus, now everyone knows the stipler took this kid to be under his supervision. It made him feel so important, it gave him meaning to his life. One word from a big chacham can build up a person. I once went to a place to give a lecture, and the daughter of the owners of the house, she was secular, but she was such a smart girl. I was very impressed from her sharpness. So I'm giving lectures. She was supposed to be already religious a long time ago. She sees everything. She asks hard questions. She's very clever. See right away, smart girl. She did not become religious from all the proofs. What made her religious? One sentence that I told her made her right away religious. A real, very high-level religious. One sentence. Look how the psychology of the person works. I went to her in Hebrew. I told her, if someone like you will become religious, you're going to be a very big rebbitzin. I never saw sharp, smart girl like you ever. That's that one sentence I told her. She already realized, if he holds so highly of me, what am I wasting my time on? All of a sudden, she got the motivation. And she went to Mizrachi in Yerushalayim, mamash like a rabbi. One sentence can change the whole life of a person. In a minute. That's what the Gemara says, יש אדם קונה עולמו ברגע אחד. In the Mishnah it says, some people say, what, every person I have to say hello to? I'm not in a mood for him. The Mishnah says like this, הווה מקבל כל אדם בספר פנים יפות, except every human being with a nice smile, nice face. He didn't say only the important people. He didn't say only the rich people. He said every person, every person. Some people say, Rabbi, I cannot accept every person with a smile and happiness. How can I do it? I cannot stand him. I remember when I was a kid, my father used to tell me, you have to learn from me. If you have someone you don't like for whatever reason, don't ever let him understand it or feel it that you have something against him. Always be nice to him. And that's the way he was. Nobody ever knew if he liked him or not, because he treated everyone in a very nice way. But that's not what our Parashat said. They say the Parashat, the brothers of Yosef, when they saw him, they couldn't look at him. They hated him so much. לא יכלו לדברו שלום, לשלום. They couldn't even say hello to him. Now, is this a good thing or a bad thing? Chazal say, at least they were honest, not hypocrite. So I'm asking you, it looks like a contradiction. You have to accept every person with a nice face and a smile, just like he's your brother.
Has to be genuine.
Or you have to show him, I cannot stand you. It's two total opposite. Now, what do you think? Which one of the two is correct?
No, because if you're smiling, if you don't really like him, you become a fake person.
No.
I think.
Sometimes it's a mitzvah to be fake.
Is it?
Yeah. Yeah. If your wife made you horrible oshpolo,
Okay.
so what, you're going to go, yeah, ugh. You're going to go like this? No. You say, delicious. You heard her? After hours that she was in the kitchen?
To kill the taste.
Yeah. Well, at least you say it as it is. Yeah.
There's no contradiction.
Why?
We have a mitzvah to be like in the heart and the mouth the same way.
Yeah.
So if you see somebody that you don't like, you don't just put on a face. You fix it inside yourself or with them, whatever it is, and become, let's say, gim katzhut or whatever it is.
I see a clear contradiction here. If there is Mishnah in Pirkei Avot that say lekabel kol adam besever panim yafot, you have to accept every person with a nice face, happy face. On the other hand, when the brothers of Yosef could not stand him, they showed it to him. And the Gemara speaks highly of that part, not of what they did. Now, of course, you're not allowed to hate your brother, especially, even if he did something wrong. The Gemara did not praise them for hating him. They say, while they already made a sin of hating their brother, at least they are not hypocrite, which would add an extra sin on the other one. So which one of the two is correct? No?
Honestly, I think, no, what did you say? You said at least they're not hypocrites, right?
Yeah.
Well, Rabbi, I mean, I need you to read the question one more time. Like, I had the answer, I promise you.
No, okay, so again, if you see a person you don't like, you have to smile in a nice way to him and pretend nothing happened and you like him, or you have to show him that you cannot stand him. Based on our parasha, the fact that they didn't like him, but they did not hide it, they couldn't even say hello to him, so it says that at least they were not hypocrite. But I said, why? That's not a good sign. They should have been nice. Maybe if you pretend you're nice, eventually he say hi to you, you say hi, and it breaks the ice. Because most of the fights between people is misunderstandings. Misunderstanding. He came angry from something. He came angry from another thing. He say a word. He didn't understand. He answered right away. Boom. They hate each other for 30 years. But if they talk to each other, if you want to make peace between two enemies, do like Aaron HaKohen. Aaron HaKohen used to call them. He comes to one and say, Reuben told me since he had a fight with you, he doesn't sleep at night. Why? What? You sure? Yeah, he told me that you were his best friend. He made such a mistake. He's so embarrassed. If he wouldn't be embarrassed, he would come to apologize. But he's afraid maybe you won't take his apology, so he's embarrassed. He goes, he said the same thing to the other person. What do you think happened the next day when they meet each other? Right away, they shake hands because all the grouch, all the hatred, everything went to zero. Because it's all about ego. Oh, he's willing to apologize, he's just shy? Okay, so I have nothing against him. Yeah, he surrendered already. And he thinks the same. Look in the highway. When you merge from the service road into the highway, there's always one lane, right? Two lanes become one. And each car is trying to go an inch before the other one. It's a matter of inches. First one will push himself in, the other one will have to get stuck now another second until he merge in. So when two people are looking at each other in the side of their eye, who is going to make it first? It gets to a point that sometimes the mirrors really collide. I'm not giving up. I'm not giving up. What is the fight about? Who is going to get into the actual highway 2 seconds earlier? That's really what it is about. 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Now, always, he's ready to kill you, and sometimes it ended up in murders. As soon as you look at him, and you say like this, por favor, go, no problem. What's his reaction?
No, you go.
No, you go. Always. Always. Doesn't matter, Chris, Mustafa, Muhammad, or Mr. Lee. All cultures, the same ego. You go first. What happened a second ago? You wanted to kill me, or your hand is already on a baseball bat. His hand's shaking. His blood pressure went to 400. As soon as he went like this, no, you. The same thing in the elevator. No, you. No, please. Please, half an hour, please. Please. יבוא השלישי ויכריע ביניהם. It's all about ego. Nobody really cares that he's going to go first 2 seconds or not. I have a question for you before we finish. How did Yaakov did not know rule number 1 in raising children? You don't ever show one kid that you love him more than the others, and you don't show the others that you love one brother more than them. Even though in kids, not all of them are equal. One kid is better, one is not as good. It's very difficult to know, to rate children and to say which one is better than the other. Because it's not, you don't judge them by the results of their action or by their level. Because it's not fair to do it. Because one of them came with tools and talent that the other doesn't have, everything comes so easy for him. But the other one is putting a lot more efforts but achieve much less. So if you go by what they achieve, it's a big tragedy. You actually give credit to the one who deserves less credit. So what's the solution? The solution is to treat all kids with love, unlimited love. Of course, you give them incentive and motivation, and you give them prizes for achievement. But it has to be clear to them that my brother got it because he did something. It's a prize. He worked for it. You say to him, who wants to cut the grass today? Save Abba $50. Everyone sits like this, waiting for Eliyahu Hanavi to come. All of a sudden, one of them got up. Okay, I'll do it. He worked for 2 hours in 90 degrees. When he finished, he deserves a nice big ice cream or $10 or something, I don't know, to buy himself something. Or other brothers have no problem. They know he deserves it. That's never going to create jealousy. But if out of nowhere you go to buy suits for the holidays, and to everyone you buy cheap one, and to one of them you buy, 4 times more expensive. How do you expect that the others won't be jealous?
Change the price tag.
So the answer is, Yaakov is making a special clothing to Yosef. What did he expect? But the Torah said that Yaakov loved Yosef the most. Why? What's the reason? 2 reasons. One is his youngest son, and he's from Rachel, his more loved wife. He loved also Leah, but he loved Rachel more. And also that Yosef was the smartest. I was learning with him. He was the smartest. So automatically he felt more connection to him. If you have kids, they're not in such a high level. One of them is a shining star. Automatically, it's very hard not to show that you appreciate, you're impressed by him more than the other. Maybe not love. Love, maybe it's not the right word, but you're more impressed by him. So Gemara says, because of that, the nation of Israel ended up in slavery in Mitzrayim. Because they put Yosef in a pit, and then he went to the Midianim and to the Arabs, and he ended up in Egypt, and he went to the jail, and there was everything rolled from that moment, and everybody ended up in Mitzrayim. And once they were in Mitzrayim, later on, there was the slavery. So in other words, if you would never make him that special outfit, maybe we would not have Passover today. You understand the connection? How far it can go? But I have a question for you. The question is like this. It's something that we read yesterday, maybe you didn't pay attention to it. It says like this. Reuben say to the brothers, don't throw him into the pit. What's his plan? I'm the oldest. Our father will come to me. I'm forced to protect him. Why? כבד את אביך ואת אמך לרבות אחיך הבכור. Your oldest brother is like your father. When the father is not around, he's the boss. Reuben knows. The same way you get the privilege to be the oldest, you also have responsibilities come with that. So Yaakov will hold him responsible. So he has to save him. Why Reuben has extra love to Yosef more than the brothers? Besides the fact that he has to protect him. There's another reason. Why? Because Yosef, in his dream, when he came to Yaakov and he say, all the brothers and the mother and the father, the sun and the moon, everyone bow down to me. So that means Reuben was inside the dream. Which means Reuben didn't know if Hashem cut him or not. After what he did, mixing the beds between his mother to the maid, he mixed. So Yaakov got upset at him. So Reuben wasn't sure what's my status right now. Maybe after I made that scene, Hashem threw me out. I won't be one of the Shvatim. But when Yosef came with a dream, and he actually said that their entire family was in a dream, Reuben wasn't excluded. He was so happy that thanks to the dream of Yosef, he got a kosher stamp. So he had more sympathy to him. Why? Thanks to you, my shaky reputation went away. So I owe you gratitude. Even though you didn't come with the purpose of saving my reputation, you came supposedly to show off about your dream, we all bowing down to you, for different reason. But something good came out of it to me, I owe you gratitude, at least I'll save your life. So Reuben was away, he comes back, he's not in a hole. But it says like this. It says, don't kill him, throw him into the pit. Reuben, throw him into the hole. ויאמר אליהם ראובן, אל תשפכו דם, don't spill blood. Throw him into the pit that is in the desert, and don't send your hand to him, that he should save him later. למען נציל אותו מידם. That's his plan. But I don't get it. The oral Torah said that the pit is empty from water, but it's full of snakes and scorpions. Snakes and scorpions, they go deep to the holes. There's holes in the ground, that's where they are. So I don't get it. What's better? What's better by putting him with snakes and scorpions? It's also dead sentence. Why did Reuben plan to go now an hour later? By then the snakes will beat him 50 times already. What? He couldn't tell him something else? Why he has to throw him into the pit with snakes and scorpions? What's going on over here? Now I'm going to make the question even harder. The Gemara in Masechet Yevamot, it says the person that fell into a hole full of snakes and scorpions is considered dead. Which means his wife can go and get married. She doesn't need get. She doesn't need two witnesses to come and saw and see and testify that they actually saw his body. He fell to a hole full of snakes and scorpions. 2 minutes later he's dead. So how can it be? If that's the case, that means he's guaranteed to die. So actually Reuben, instead of trying to save him in a good way, he gives them an advice, kill him for sure, putting him by the snakes and the scorpions. The answer to that is, Rav Chaim Kanievsky answered this question. He said, in the Gemara it said that it fell on the snakes. If you fall next to them, maybe they hit you, maybe not. But if you fall on them right away, they reflex, they beat you right away, whether they want, not. You started a fight, they have self-defense, they attack you. Even if you're righteous, if you come to a dog, you're righteous, you don't deserve to die by a dog. But you go like this to him, drive him crazy, and he goes crazy and the leash broke, he will rip you apart. Even in Rosh Hashanah, Hashem said you're not supposed to die this year. Why? You brought the death to yourself. A person that Hashem did not write for him to die. He jumped from the Empire State Building. He interfered with Hashem's plans for him. Hashem gave him life in Rosh Hashanah. He jumped into his death. But Reuben say like this, we have a rule, animals never attack a tzaddik. If you're righteous, they don't touch you. Like Daniel, they put him with the hungry lions. For days they don't eat him. Many cases like this, the Christians put rabbis in a hole with lions. That's how they used to kill people. They make the lions hungry. Every time someone's supposed to be dead, they throw him in. And they'd enjoy to see the lions eating the rabbi. That's what they used to do. The Romans used to do it. All kinds of people in the history. One time there was a priest that made a fake story about the treasury, which was a Jew. And the king believed it because they framed him so good, there's no way to get out of it. So the priest was the executor. He tied him and he rolled the rope down, and the rabbi went down to the hole, and the lions went around him. They don't touch him. So the priest said to the king, wait, give them 2 or 3 hours, maybe they're not hungry enough. So the king loved that Jew because he was a very good helper in a business, in a finance. So he said, oh yeah? Let's see if the lion's really hungry or not. Bring the rabbi out. Let's see what's going to be. Before he even reached the ground, they already swallowed his legs. Daniel is a proof from the Tanakh. They pull him with the hungry lions. The lions bow down to him like little cats. So Reuben say, what's the problem? I throw him. I know this boy is a tzaddik. If he's really tzaddik like we think, now they're angry at him. But if he's tzaddik, they're not going to touch him. If they kill him, that's what Hashem wants. We didn't kill him. We didn't actually take the knife and stab him. Do you think there's a difference between putting a person in a hole with the snakes and scorpions than actually taking a knife and stabbing him in the heart? No. There's a difference, or both of them you consider a murderer?
No.
Based on what the Gemara said, that it's a guarantee to be death. Guaranteed. Death guarantee. There's no way to come out. So what's the difference if you stab him with a knife or if you put him with the snakes? The answer is, if you stab him with a knife, you have to be executed. That's the law of the Torah. But if you put him in a pit and a minute later the snake came towards him and killed him, you cannot be executed. So that's a way to kill someone without getting the death sentence in this world. That means that the person gets away in Olam Haba for murder? No. Still going to be guilty. But in this world, he cannot be executed. Why? Because there was a way that they won't attack him. He left a way out. It's not a certain death. Even if you tie a person to the tree and the lions are walking around, what's the chance that the lions would leave him alone? Very small. But there is a chance. Maybe something else would happen. Maybe a fox would come or a goat, and they'll attack the goat. There's a way out. You don't kill him direct, you cannot be executed. How long a person is considered a yeled, a child? Up to what age? 6, 7, 13, 12, 3? So 4 years old is not a kid? 4 is not a kid.
3-year-old.
That's, the question is, when do you call the kid? Up to what age you call him a boy or girl, little boy, child? 18 years old, you don't say child. Huh?
Today's 40 something.
Until his last days. He
How old Yosef was when they threw him into the pit? What does the Torah say? Vayeled enenu. And the child is gone. So 17. 17 is still a child. This is in a generation that people used to get married in their bar mitzvah. Do you know that one generation ago, sometimes people in their bar mitzvah, it was also their wedding? That was a very common thing. Instead of making 2 meals, people were poor. So they made bar mitzvah and wedding together. Chatan got the tefillin, matana la bar mitzvah.
Bar mitzvah. Kids are 65, 7 years old. Their father called him Bachim, called him my child. Even
They call him Bache or Bacheva. The answer is, up to what age? In the old days it was up to 9 years old. Today it's up to 90. Still play Game Boys. Oh, so now the question is why he still say Vayeled enenu? Because he's the youngest. For them he will always stay the kid. The last one, never for the family, is always Ben Skunim. Even when Binyamin was born, they still call Yosef Ben Skunim. Because at one point he was Ben Skunim, the youngest, that's it. He got the title. Same thing, kid. All the youngest. You're right. Yes. No, but over here it was a long period of time. Long period of time. Why Yaakov got such a punishment? Chazal asking. That they bring him the special outfit he made for his loved son with blood of a goat, and he went very, very sad. An animal ate my son. Gemara say Yaakov came to Yitzchak with goats, pretending he's Esav. Hashem punished him with goats. How scary is measure for measure can go. How scary.
Didn't Rivka say his mother said, whatever the punishment is, I'll take it?
Yeah. Not only that, she said it's punishment on me. Everything she did was a prophecy, which means that's what Hashem wanted them to do, to correct the mistake that Yitzchak was about to do. Yitzchak is about to do.
So he's asking, why did he still get it?
I have a better question than yours. Why Yaakov did not see Yosef 22 years? The answer, because he did not respect his parents for 22 years. What kind of answer is this? His mother told him, your life is in a risk, your animal brother is about to murder you, run to my family. So he went to the family. Now his life is still in a risk. Are you allowed to come back to a place where your life is in a risk, even if it's maybe in a risk, not guaranteed?
No, you
A
cannot.
person allowed to walk to a place where his life is in a risk?
No, you cannot.
It's against the Torah. The answer is because she said to him, go there for a few days, meaning few months. And he stayed there 7 years for Rachel. In the end it was Leah. Then another 7 more years. The Dean, why did you stay 6 more years? If he would only stay 14 years because he needs to get married and he wanted to marry Rachel and this crook is taking advantage on him, no. העוסק במצווה, פטור מן המצווה. You're busy with one mitzvah, you're dismissed from the other. But once he got his wives, why he stayed in America? Business in Manhattan is good, Rabbi, 47th Street. In the beginning, I went to work to Mr. Gavrielov because I wanted to marry his daughter. So he said to me, let's make a deal. You work for me 7 years, you marry my daughter. Then he tricked him. He gave him a different daughter. So what happened? He said, okay, now you work again. We'll give you another wife. No problem. So he's stuck for 14 years. But then when he's already have the wives, why he stayed to work in a selling gold? Why didn't run to see your parents? Especially when how long was the ride? 2 or 3 days. What's the ride? You get on a horse. 2 or 3 days later, you're there. That's the problem, to come visit your parents. That's the problem here. When you begin to do something, automatically you dismiss from doing something else. However, when you finish, that's the test. If you were, until now, you were upset that you cannot respect your parents, meaning as soon as you can, you run to do it, or you got used to not to do it and you're happy. That's the test. Same thing Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu, when he went on a ride, he had 2 sons. He has to circumcise them. But on the road, you don't circumcise the baby. The sand, it's not sterilized. So when they got to the hotel, from the minute they got to the hotel, he was able to do it. No more. Right away, the Malach HaMavet came, and Tzipora see, the Malach HaMavet comes and swallow them, like a snake, swallow a person all the way up to his belt, and then from the top all the way to the belt, which means they stop by the belt, where the circumcision is. She took the sharp stones and she circumcised the baby. So the point, what do we see? That Hashem almost killed Moshe Rabbeinu because not circumcising his baby and the first opportunity he had. Why? Up to now, you were dismissed. But now when you're not, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Same thing, if a person has to do mitzvah, let's say, or to learn Torah, but they call him and say, oh, we need 10 people for a funeral to go dig a grave. Someone just died, met mitzvah. There's nobody to bury him. Come, help us. So he goes, as soon as the funeral over, that's the test. If he runs quickly to the yeshiva, oh, since I'm already here, let's go to Starbucks, have some espresso and bagel with lax. Yes, time. You know how many Bachurei Yeshiva are like this? Waiting for the opportunity that somebody called them, that they can take advantage 2-3 more hours off. When I used to teach in yeshiva, every week somebody else is his turn to bring food. Every week somebody else. Then we'll finish with that, with this story. So I said, they one time came to one guy from my class, in a Gemara class, one guy, we say to him, today it's your turn to go bring food. So I see, okay, where's the key of the car? So I said to him, what are you happy, you fool? You just got the biggest punishment in the world and you smile? He said, why the biggest punishment? Say, they're asking you to bring food now, that means you're going to lose half an hour of learning. He said, yeah, but I'm going to bring food to all the people, they'll be able to learn. I said to him, yeah. The fact that someone has to bring food and today it's your turn, there's nothing you can do about it. But why are you happy? You should go with tears that you have to lose half an hour of learning. You have to. You have root canal, you're dying from pain, you have to go to the dentist, you lose 2 hours of learning. But why are you happy? That's the problem today. When you're forced to do something and lose the Torah, instead of being upset, he's very happy. Rav Shlomo Zalman Auerbach, he saw that there was one old man, he was in a hospital in Israel, and the hospital told him, we cannot keep you here tonight. You have to go. He said, but I don't have where to live, and it's cold outside. It's freezing, raining, freezing, hail. They said to him, I'm sorry, it's not a hotel here. Keep me 1 or 2 more nights, what do you care? We can't. It's a hospital, it's not an hotel. Get out of here. So they threw him out. So one Jew, he heard about it. He said to Rav Shlomo Zalman Auerbach, yeah, this old man now is on the street in freezing weather. So he said to him, Rabbi, I have a way to get him in. So the rabbi said, okay, it's mitzvah to get him in. Go get him in. So he went there, he tricked them. He said, oh, the old man, he got him in. So when he came back, he was all smiling and glowing, like he got him in. The rabbi said, do whatever you can to get this old man back in, that he won't freeze to death. So when he came back, he was so happy. So Rav Shlomo Zalman Auerbach said to him, why are you so happy? And he said, because I tricked them to get the old man back in. He said, yes. To get the old man back in is mitzvah. But you had to trick them to do the right thing. For that, you shouldn't be smiling. But are you so happy to be a crook, even though you're saving someone's life? The fact that you are forced to lie should wipe the smile away from your face if you're a real decent person. If you're not allergic to lies, something is not right. Did you see people that don't know how to lie, how they're starting to shake and they become red? I remember one time we had a horrible situation, and I told my friend 20 years ago, you have to say this, otherwise you finished. And he said, no, I cannot lie. I said, listen, it's a legal lie. Sheker l'shem shalom. It's going to be a disaster if you don't say like this. So when the time came and he had to say it, he went like this. He couldn't talk. Mamash, he froze. He just cannot say the lie. It's already in his genes, in his DNA. And if it's not like that, something is not right here, Habibi. Everything curving around here, everything is okay. Yalla, בסדר, חפיף, בדיל ויעבור, it's okay. No big deal, Rabbi. לעולם יהיה אדם ירא שמיים בסתר כבגלוי ומודה על האמת ודובר אמת בלבבו. Always say the truth and always think the truth. And your mouth and your heart will always be the same. ברוך אדוני לעולם.